Good evening. We are ready to begin. This Planning Commission meeting is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded and can be viewed live on City of Las Vegas TV on Cox Cable Channel 2. You can also watch the meeting live online and access other city content by visiting lasvegasnevada.gov/connect. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on City of Las Vegas TV this Saturday after the meeting at 10 a.m., Monday at midnight, and the following Tuesday at 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Chair Taylor?
Present.
Vice Chair Kasama?
Present.
Commissioner Schlottman?
Present.
Commissioner Rogan?
Present.
Commissioner Walsh?
Present.
Commissioner DeSalvio?
Present.
Commissioner Munford?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. I call to your attention the information printed in your agenda concerning our actions and the appeal and review process if appropriate. Please read this carefully, and if you have any questions, staff is available. Also, the second page of the agenda contains our rules of conduct. We appreciate your adhering to these rules so we can have a smooth meeting. Thank you. Next, we have public comment. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. All comments made under this item for specific action items will be cross-referenced to those items. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak under this portion of the agenda? Come on down, sir, please. And note, if you are here for an item and you want to wait for that item, you can also speak at that time.
Well, pardon me, I've never done this before here at the Planning Commission, but I wanted to show my support, and also my son, believe it or not, the young guy over there is a homeowner, just recently bought his first house. And we own properties on...
Sir, I'm so sorry to interrupt you because I know you said you've never done this before, but please state your name
Sure.
for the record and your address.
Okay.
And if you're speaking on a particular item, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what item that
Sure,
is.
sorry about that. Bruce Cowan. I own a property at 801 North 8th Street. I happen to live at 5840 Mohawk Street. But I'm here regarding the issue 25-0278, and also below is 25-0278-SDR1. And I've got about 100 units down in the downtown area. The thing I do is take older properties and restore them, trying to make them look as nice as possible and keep them. However, I'm very excited about this project, this proposed development. It's for a 4-story building. I actually think that they should go higher if they can. I know that they're interested in putting a swimming pool in. We totally support that. I can think nothing better than a really great development in that East Fremont area to be a shot in the arm to the community. I think more housing is what we all want in Vegas, and I think we all know that more housing will actually control prices and keep prices lower. As a matter of fact, from what I've seen, prices are actually coming down a little bit on the rental market. But in this particular area, in the East Fremont District area, there has been kind of a lack of development for a while. And a 4-story project like this, that's closer to where the old City Hall building is, on 10th Street, is welcome. I don't just speak for myself. I know 6 other people that own properties there that live there, they're homeowners. And there is a desire for younger people to be able to buy down there and to live in in a more exciting neighborhood. And if you have this kind of development, you'll have more economic activity, more restaurants, more shops, more bars, but more art, more exciting, vibrant economic activity, which will make more people want to live there. So on behalf of the homeowners in that area, and again, I'm an investor, but there are a lot of homeowners. And what I'm interested in, again, personally, is the historical properties, but I don't see this large building as being anything but positive. It would be a great shot in the arm to the community. So we hope that you support it. We hope you support it unanimously and allow the developer to build, if necessary, 6, 8 stories. We would support that.
Okay, thank you so much for coming down, sir. Anybody else? Okay, seeing no one else, we will close public hearing under this part of the agenda, and we will move on to item number 5. Sorry, bear with me. For possible action to approve the final minutes for the Planning Commission meeting of July 8th, 2025. Madam Vice Chair, may we have a motion to approve the minutes of the Planning Commission of July 8th, 2025?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes of July 8th, 2025.
There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Okay, please post. And that does carry. All right, let's move on to our housekeeping items. Are there any items that commissioners, staff, applicants, or members of the public would like to pull forward for action?
Madam Chair, Nicole Eddowes for the record. The applicant is requesting to hold item number 18 to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. The applicant is requesting to hold item number 19 to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. The applicant is requesting to hold item number 21 to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. The applicant is requesting to hold item number 32 to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. And due to technical difficulties this month, items number 13, 14, and 15 are numbered incorrectly for the online agenda only. In addition, the agenda summary page for item number 27 depicts the wrong agenda item, and a corrected version has been submitted to the clerk for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, does anyone wish to speak on any of the items that were just listed in housekeeping?
Yes, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Bob Gronauer, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. I'm going to be representing item 24, but on item 24B, as in boy, we will be asking to hold that indefinitely as an abeyance item, but we'll be moving forward with 24A and 24C on the agenda.
Madam Chair, if we're not going to have a date for an abeyance, then we would need to table that.
That's fine. We can table, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gronauer. All right, anybody else?
Excuse me, Chair, can I verify that the items with sub-items are also included in the abeyance for items 18, 21, and 32?
Okay, thank you. All right. Hearing no other comments for our housekeeping items, Vice Chair, would you please make a motion on the housekeeping items?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to make a motion to hold in abeyance item 18, and that is 18A, 18B, 18C, as well as agenda item 19 to be held in abeyance to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. Item 21, 21A, 21B, 21C to be held in abeyance to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting. Item 32, as 32A, 32B, 32C, 32D, 32E to be held in abeyance to the September 9th Planning Commission meeting, as well as to table item 24B.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please post. And that motion carries. We are going to move on to our consent items. These are considered routine by the Planning Commission and may be enacted by one motion. However, any item may be discussed if a commission member or applicant so desires, and I understand we may have one amendment on a consent item.
Madam Chair, if you want to go ahead and read them into the record, and then we will have a revised condition for the number 8. Thank you.
Okay. So for our consent items, we have 25-0245, applicant owner 923 Properties LLC for possible action on the following land use entitlement project request generally located at the southwest corner of Garces and 10th Street. Ward 3 Diaz, 7A, 25-0245 EOT1 for an improved mixed-use development, 7B, 25-0245 EOT2 for an improved 8-story mixed-use development consisting of 343 residential units and 8,000 square feet of commercial space with waivers to allow 331 parking spaces where 522 are required, a 40-foot residential adjacency setback where 282 feet is required, a 0-foot landscape buffer along portions of the north property line where 8 feet is required, and a 0-foot landscape buffer on the east, south, and west property lines where 15 feet is required. Number 8, 25-0271 TMP1, SEC Shadow Lane and Pinto Lane, applicant owner Nevada Health and Bioscience Asset Corporation for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a one-lot commercial subdivision at the southeast corner of Shadow Lane and Pinto Lane, Ward 1, Knutson. And then item 9, 25-0275 TMP1, Summerlin West Village, 27 Parcel D, custom lots, applicant owner the Howard Hughes Company LLC for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed 39-lot single-family residential subdivision at the terminus of Astra Canyon Drive, approximately 160 feet north of the Skyfall Point Drive intersection, Ward 2, Seaman.
And Madam Chair, for number 8, 25-0271 TMP1, we need to revise condition of approval number 2 to read, "The final map shall contain a note granting perpetual common access and parking across the entire subdivision via drive aisles and driveways." Thank you.
Thank you. All right, with that amendment, Vice Chair, can I get a motion on our consent items?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent items 7, 8, and 9, and that includes the motion that staff read into the, the staff condition that was read into the record for item 8.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Okay, please post, and that motion carries.
And Madam Chair, item 7 is final action tonight unless appealed to City Clerk in 10 days, and items 8 and 9 are final action unless appealed to the City Clerk within 7 days.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to one motion, one vote. The following are items that may be considered in one motion, one vote. They are considered routine, non-public, and public hearing items with staff recommendation of approval. All public hearings and non-public hearings will be opened at one time. Any person representing an application or a member of the public or a member of the Planning Commission not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this part of the agenda. So number 10, 25-0101 VAR1, applicant University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, owner County of Clark, UMC et al., for possible action on a land use entitlement project request to allow the suffix way on a straight north-south street where street is required on Willow Street south of Wellness Way, Ward 1, Knutson. Number 11, 25-0185 SUP2, applicant owner 10-1500s LLC for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed 2,198 square foot alcohol on-premise full use with a waiver of Appendix F interim downtown Las Vegas development standards for parking area 2 at 608 South Maryland Parkway, Suite 110, Ward 3, Diaz. Number 12, that's 25-0273 VAC1, applicant owner Tri-Point Homes of Nevada for possible action on land use entitlement project request for a petition to vacate public drainage and public sewer easements generally located adjacent to the west side of the Alpine Ridge Way alignment, approximately 310 feet south of Kyle Canyon Road, Ward 6, Bruni. Number 13, abeyance 24-0185, applicant Fresh General Services LLC, owner Saturday Properties Group. Hold on one second, sorry about that. And, yep, one motion, one item, one motion, one vote ended at number 12, so that was the Tri-Point Homes. of Nevada item. Okay, so these items are public hearing. Is there any member of the public wishing to be heard on items number 10, 11, or 12? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing. Vice Chair, would you like to make a motion on our one motion, one vote items?
Chair, I believe Commissioner Rogan has an abstention.
Oh,
Thank you, Chair. With regard to item 10, the applicant is Clark County. I'm an employee, an attorney for Clark County. Given that commitment in a private capacity, I'm going to be abstaining from that item.
okay, thank you, Commissioner Rogan.
With that, Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 10, 11, and 12 on the one motion, one vote agenda. Sorry, 10, 11, and 12.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your vote.
Commissioner
Commissioner
Casama?
Casama. Okay, please post, and that carries.
And Madam Chair, item 10 will move on to City Council on September 17th. Item 11 is final action tonight unless appealed to City Clerk in 10 days, and item 12 is final action unless appealed to City Clerk in 10 days.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to public hearing items. We're going to take things a little bit out of order, starting with number 16, abeyance 24-0527 VAR1. Applicant owner Maria Hernandez for possible action on a land use entitlement project request to allow 2 existing patio covers that do not conform to Title 19.06 development standards for setbacks and aesthetic compatibility, and to allow an existing front yard wall that exceeds maximum height standards at 1415 Crestwood Avenue, Ward 3, Diaz. Staff recommends denial. May I have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, staff finds the request to be a self-imposed hardship as the patio covers and fence were constructed without permits, and staff is recommending denial of the request. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and then tell us about the project.
Good evening. My name is Juanita Martinez. I'm Maria's daughter.
Mi nombre es María G. Hernández.
The address is 1415 Crestwood Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ma'am, I'm so
89104.
sorry. Would you mind terribly speaking a little more into the microphone? We can't hear you up here on the dais. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Guadalupe Hernández. Mi domicilio es 1415 Crestwood Avenida, Las Vegas, Nevada 89104.
For the record, Emma Jimenez with the Department of Neighborhood Services. I'll be helping and translating.
Sobre esto.
Okay, conservar.
Oh, yo quiero conservar el techo que hizo mi esposo.
She would like to save the patio. It was an item that was heard before.
Porque él lo hizo y es un recuerdo de él que me dejó y yo no quisiera que si me lo podían dejar.
She
Pues,
asked that we are able to save it. It is an item that her late husband did construct. Previously, it was asked to make the patio cover aesthetically compatible with the rest of the home and the dwelling. So we have renderings that I believe have been sent to you guys, but we also have copies here to present.
Así.
And then that's all they have to say.
Madam Chair, through you, may I ask them to turn that sideways so we can see that better? Thank you.
And then we do have a couple of renderings, so we can switch it out to a couple more. Encima de cada uno.
Yeah.
And then that's the photos that they have to present.
Thank you very much. Go ahead and open this up for public hearing. Is there anybody wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and pass it over to the commission, starting with Commissioner Schlottman.
Yes, Chairwoman, through you. If everybody can remember, probably 7, 8, 9 months ago, we heard this item. And this particular item, I didn't necessarily like. I was about to make a motion for denial, and Commissioner Rogan asked me to hold an abeyance and go out into the field and see if we can do anything. I was thinking that there would be very little that could happen. This architect actually met on site with myself and Shift and the applicants that's here today, and we looked at it, and he kept asking me if he could do something where he could dress up the columns and try to make it look like it's more incorporated into the house. And I told him he could try and would see how it turned out. And then he turned this into me, and it actually shocked me. He actually did a better job than I anticipated that he could actually pull off. So, based on the current design, I feel it's more compatible. They have their neighbors' support, and I feel that I could get behind this. But since Commissioner Rogan had strong feelings about this, I figured I'd see if he has any further comments.
I'm sorry, I don't remember. But when I think the redesign looks great, and I can get behind it too.
Thank you. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but it did come out nice. So, Chairwoman, through you, if there's no other comments, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay. Any other comments? No. Okay, please make your motion.
Yes, on abeyance item number 16, 24-0527, move to approve, subject to staff's conditions.
Madam Chair, may I please interject here with some edited conditions
Yes.
to address these changes?
Go ahead.
Okay, Madam Chair, for condition of approval number 4, we will change that one to a variance is hereby denied to allow 2 patio covers that are not aesthetically compatible with the existing single-family dwelling on site. That will therefore address that they're now compatible. And then I would like to add a condition And then the added condition will read, the patio cover and carport shall be in conformance with the elevations date stamped August 12th, 2025, today, essentially, except as amended by conditions herein. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll amend my motion for approval, subject to staff's conditions, and the modified condition is read into the record by Ms. Edos on number 4, and the added condition is read into the record by Ms. Edos.
Okay, thank you. And just want, should we hold while Peter's talking then?
And through you,
Okay.
Madam Chair, question for planning staff. Do we have a copy of what is on the overhead?
We're going to get a copy here, so it can be stamped into the record.
Oh, right, thank you.
Okay. All right, and ladies, you agree to all of staff's conditions?
Sí.
Yes, they're agreeing to all
está
staff
bien.
conditions.
Okay, great. All right, please post. And that motion carries.
Gracias.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
And Madam Chair, that item will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, we are going to move to item number 33, which is 25-0179 DIR1 Applicant owner, City of Las Vegas, discussion for possible action on adopting the Charleston Special Area Plan for the Charleston area, Wards 1 and Ward 3. Knutson and Diaz, staff recommends approval.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Marco Vallada, City of Las Vegas, Department of Community Development for the record. I'm here tonight to present another special area plan for your consideration. This one is for the Charleston area, and I will take you through this one, which is a little bit different from some of our other plans that we've done over the last couple of months. This one was done by Happy Cities. We're very thankful for their assistance in putting this together over the past year and change. This one covers pretty much the core of the city, and unlike La Madre Foothills and Kyle Canyon, which we had over the last couple of months, this one's definitely an infill and redevelopment oriented plan, and a little bit different from the suburban ones that we just heard earlier this year. So again, just as a recap, these special area plans help implement the overarching 2050 master plan and provide the community some input on implementing certain elements within the neighborhoods of a larger geographic unit. And in this case, right in the heart of the city, close to downtown Las Vegas, includes a lot of the infrastructure that is associated with downtown, like the Las Vegas Medical District, a lot of the neighborhoods that span between I-15 and roughly Buffalo to the west, and between our city limits on the south, Sahara, and US 95, Interstate 11 on the north. The product that we have now is the Charleston 2050 Special Area Plan, and it is a survey and really a study of a number of different subunits that are really diverse and distinct in nature. I mean, we have existing neighborhoods like the Meadows, Charleston Heights, Rainbow Park. You have major infrastructure like public infrastructure like the College of Southern Nevada, and then new developments that have been going in that are more commercial in nature, replacing some of the industrial that we have on the southeastern corner of this location in the form of Area 15, and a lot of the resort and tourism oriented uses that have gone in there over the last couple of years. This community does have a number of challenges, though. There is a lack of public and civic space in certain parts of this area. And it is much larger than some of the other ones that we have looked at before in terms of overall acreage. I mean, you have about 12 square miles right here of development. Housing types and costs are very diverse. You have large estates around Rancho Circle, but you also have apartments and affordable housing. You have duplexes, triplexes. You have inner ring suburbs with standard single-family residential units. So there's a wide spectrum in terms of income levels, income types, and a large range of costs that are associated. And then the demographics are of course, correspond as well. You have a very diverse mix, and you'll see that on a slide here in a second. There are a lot of concerns about accessibility to infrastructure that's there now. Schools, we don't have parks or community centers on the southern side of this area. There's a lot of concerns with respect to safety, in particular around Clark High School, safety in terms of pedestrians and bicyclists. There are a lot of images that you'll see in the plan itself that show, how this area has really changed over time with respect to crosswalks and the ability to safely navigate a wide arterial that was built, decades ago, like Charleston Boulevard, and was formerly a state highway that went all the way out to Red Rock Canyon, that goes out to Red Rock Canyon. Again, this is a set of neighborhoods that is in flux, that's in change. And our current population is roughly 75,000, but with This plan, we could see additional infill and redevelopment and repurposing and reutilization of some of the commercial land uses that are here, add more mixed use and residential through implementing transit-oriented development on those major corridors. And this complements an effort that is going on with the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada right now. In terms of public outreach, we had the Happy Cities team come out and do a number of pop-up events and in-depth stakeholder sessions, meeting with developers. And Councilman Knutson helped convene a lot of this. We had a number of meetings here and out throughout the community over at College of Southern Nevada, at parks, at the Bonneville Transit Center. And really that was instrumental in getting a lot of feedback. We do have some surveys that are currently out just on the final product of the plan, but going into this, we had surveys that discussed the vision for this community and what it would look like in the future, as well as some of the things that help make the plan up itself. Among the things that the team heard a lot of is that residents and businesses wanted to see safer streets. They want to see more public gathering spaces, more trees, more shade, more parks, and less cut-through traffic through neighborhoods, essentially making the public realm a lot safer. So with that public outreach, we were able to get a vision statement that we got feedback on. And again, really wanted, what the public saw was this opportunity to create potential to create this healthy, livable community that has a strong sense of community pride and belonging. The plan, much like our other special area plans, has 4 different areas of action. It talks about that, those things that we heard a lot about, the safety in the public realm, safer streets and transportation, better public space in the form of parks and businesses and amenities and places to go, diverse housing choices for all different types of income levels, and then really going back to the core of what the 2050 master plan talks about for us is redevelopment and infill, and utilization of city resources to help make some of that happen through our redevelopment agency and RDA 2 that covers a good portion of this area. So with respect to streets, the policies that stand out in this section is really to support active transportation. And this is the part of the community where you have higher rates of walking and biking, some rates of auto ownership that is lower than the citywide average, and really trying to improve transit. That is a kind of a central theme and complements the effort that's going on right now with the RTC. You might have seen in the media over the last couple of weeks a new initiative that was launched by the RTC called Let's Go Charleston, and that is an alternatives analysis that was funded through the Federal Transit Administration that will look at creating high-capacity transit on Charleston Boulevard, going right through the Charleston area, as well as linking Summerlin with downtown Las Vegas, with the east side, with East Las Vegas. And this effort that's going on right now is still in the outreach phase, but what will come out of that is a mode selection and a route that will basically go down Charleston Boulevard in some form, whether that's light rail, whether that's bus rapid transit, whether that's rapid bus, or some other form of transit in, bus-based service or something to that effect. This will be determined through this process. And if you go to charlestonboulevard.com, you can find more information about that. This process will take a number of months to weed through, but they will ultimately have a plan that will get the transit component a little bit further down the line. This is kind of analogous to how we worked with RTC on the Maryland Parkway corridor. That's now under construction in the form of bus rapid transit from the airport to the medical district. That process is essentially what's going to play out here for Charleston Boulevard. We'll ultimately have an alternative that will be selected, and then with funding, that mode will get built along Charleston Boulevard. And that's really the anchor point for making this corridor happen. But on the streets that intersect and in the neighborhoods that are adjacent to Charleston Boulevard, Sahara Avenue, Decatur Boulevard, we have opportunities to improve those streets to make them a little bit more pedestrian and bicyclist friendly. Corridors themselves can be vibrant commercial streets that can handle pass-through traffic and getting people to major destinations, but it can also be done in a way that's safer, especially for at points where pedestrians will cross or transit users will cross. And then local streets, there are a number of infrastructure improvements that could be made that will help slow traffic down. And that can be done through design methods. And working with Public Works, we can make smaller streets, collector streets, local streets safer and slow, cut through traffic down so that people aren't getting hit or injured or killed. Same thing goes with how people roll through the area. We do have a lot of bicyclists that use the facilities here. Alta Drive, Oakey Boulevard are major collectors that have bike infrastructure on that. Alta is the downtown to Red Rock Trail in our 2050 master plan. Even these streets that have bicycle lanes and facilities on them can also be improved. We've seen some suggestions of adding buffering to that or making cycle tracks at some points to help with physical separation and make it safer for bicyclists to go between Summerlin to downtown. In terms of recreation, you can see from this map right here that we have a big gap on the south end along Sahara Avenue, and that does kind of line up with where a county island is. But even still, there are some neighborhoods that are just underserved by city facilities and city recreational opportunities. Of course, there is the Springs Preserve. There are private spaces such as Area 15, and those are great amenities. But having the accessibility to a neighborhood or a community park, that's something that needs to be taken a look at. And that might not necessarily come in the form of a traditional park that's built by the city, but perhaps instead by something that is quasi-public or privately provided through open space exaction from a developer. So again, some of the policies and the recommendations from here are to actually do those acquisitions for land for new parks, and we do have pocket parks that have come into effect or that are under construction now, but also looking at ways that parks and open space can be put in different areas where it is needed, and this chapter of the plan discuss how that can play out. In terms of other amenities, we do not have a community center other than Mirabelli Community Center serving such a big population. So one of the recommendations for the city is at some point in the future to bring some type of civic amenity to Charleston, especially in those areas that are not served as well. In terms of housing, again, going back to the strategy of transit-oriented development, we did have legislation this past session that spoke directly to commercial land use and how residential fits into commercial zoning. That's something that we're going to take a look at, but really there are opportunities within Charleston, especially where you can have additional infill and development that can take place on some of these arterial strips, and look at other ways we can fit more dwelling units into areas where it makes the most sense while not disrupting existing established neighborhoods. Some of that, again, goes back to TOD. So focusing new development on the major corridors, increasing density, bringing buildings up to the street, making the street walkable and pedestrian-friendly, as well as providing those incentives for things like affordable, or as we're calling it, attainable housing, increasing the incentive levels in terms of area median income to provide building permit fee offsets and things to that effect, things that we have in code now but could expand upon to higher income ranges, like up to 150% area median income. Diverse housing, again, also talks about getting into the zoning code itself and looking at other opportunities to address Title 19 and some of the zoning standards that we have in place for these inner ring suburbs. How we do that, the devil's in the details. We'll have to take a look at our individual zones themselves and how we can, think about things like duplexes and triplexes in areas where we might already have single-family zoning in place. But again, the opportunity is there to take a look at this, and we do have some legislation that has really kind of pushed all municipalities in Nevada to take a look at how their zoning codes are either impediments to building new housing, or how housing reform can be, or how zoning reform can make more housing happen. So again, with more affordable housing options, with more incentives, there are ways we can get more dwelling units in, and I think that ultimately speaks to density and the opportunity for redevelopment. There is, as mentioned, RDA 2 within the Charleston area. There is a good overlay of where our transit-oriented development land uses exist. This is an opportunity, again, to bring some of those incentives together and really try to focus in on utilizing underutilized sites better and make land use a little bit more efficient, where it makes sense to do so. Things like tax increment financing, that can help create that critical mass of pedestrian-friendly development. So there are a number of different strategies that have been highlighted within this section, really for the city to take the cue to concentrate investment on those corridors and those locations where capital improvement projects are taking place, to make more housing and more development happen. And see some of that happening right now with Area 15. I mean, that's a good example right there of a number of different forces coming together to make something new happen. A replacement for a neighborhood that was there for years, and now you have all the new attractions that are going in along I-15 south of Sahara Avenue. So in terms of next steps, last meeting there was a tabling of the TOD overlay zoning standard. That's okay. We did that at the Planning Commission's request to again take a closer look at our standards, and what we intend to do with that is to come back and with some revised dimensional standards and a little bit more thought as to some of the standards that are in place with respect to mixed use, dimensions, parking, things to that effect. But again, that will be a key feature of both that alternatives analysis and implementing this special area plan. The other thing that's happened kind of simultaneously is a look at parking. And while this would apply citywide, we have looked at our parking standards, making a big change to Title 19's parking standards and things like minimums for different uses, changing some of the specific standards for parking. Our staff has already taken a pretty good cut at that as to what that will be, and we'll have at a certain point in the future a text amendment that might look at how those parking standards intersect with the implementation of this plan, and again, reduce the need for providing so much parking or trying to fit in parking in areas where ultimately it's going to result in a variance in front of you. Incentivization of TOD. That's something that we need to take a look at in terms of how we actually go about administering it, but we do have two bills that from this legislative session that we can also incorporate into our code. I mentioned that already our tax increment areas, that was something that the city sponsored, essentially allows for TIF to occur outside of a redevelopment district, as well as expanded incentives for attainable housing. And then finally, to address the urban heat island effect, we do have an urban forestry management plan that will be wrapping up here at the end of the year, that will be in front of the Planning Commission. That is something that it speaks to some of the things that we heard from the residents about in terms of comfort, heat, providing the pedestrian-friendly streets works best if you have shade to go along with it. So with that would be a tree ordinance to help improve standards and improve some dated language in Title 13 of our municipal code with respect to trees and canopy coverage. That is a Charleston Special Area Plan, and I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Mr. Vallada. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing, and I will pass this back for questions and comments to the commission, starting with, I'll start with Ward 1.
Thank you, Chair. I really don't have much to say other than I think the staff did a great job, and I think the consultant, Happy Cities, did a great job in terms of outreach, and then the conclusions that they reached, I think, were reflective of, I think, people's changing philosophy about development, especially in Ward 1 along the Charleston area. I think that we've moved a significant way away from people being opposed to any kind of redevelopment, especially more intensive development, to something more intense, and they realize the benefits that that kind of development will bring to them as well. So I do find that the report was consistent with what I heard people telling me about what they would like to see in the area, and it was very reflective of that. I do have some concerns about some implementation. I think that we have to be a lot more proactive with some of these special area plans. I feel as though sometimes they just sit on a shelf, and we pull them off when an application comes in, and we make a developer conform with the special area plans as we should. But some of this that's reflected in here, I think, is we need to be a little bit more proactive with. Some of the recommendations, not necessarily dealing with land use, but with our streets and slowing down cars and making things more safe. We should be working towards that. We shouldn't be waiting for someone to come in and redeveloping the adjacent property before we put in those safety standards. We should be doing that immediately. I think also that applies to parks. I think you mentioned that, Marco, in your presentation, that we should be really looking for those parcels that are that we could purchase and develop into parks. We shouldn't be waiting around for a developer to come in, then we say, oh, by the way, you need to build a public park. That's really not gonna happen with infill. That's something that we might have done years ago with large acreage and vacant land, but it's not gonna happen here, so we have to be more proactive. I don't know how the city staff is gonna do that. I'd be curious to have you come back and tell us what steps you're taking more specifically. I think that would be helpful. I would hate to see all this effort and public comment just go to waste because we are not dedicating ourselves to some of these proactive things that we could be doing. So those are my long-winded comments, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Schotman. Anything from Ward 3?
No, I have had the same concerns when we had the Nuestro Futuro East Las Vegas plan, and you know, we tonight we'll see some exciting things coming out of that plan, a new redevelopment area and things like that. So I appreciate the RDA pushing forward and things like that, and staff always looking at these plans, and so I echo those same concerns, but it seems like there has been some pushing forward on some of these other neighborhood plans. So thank you for all your efforts on this one. It looks like it's well prepared, and look forward to seeing some of the wayfinding signs and some of the other items that you have in this plan come to life. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I saw Commissioner Walsh.
Do you have any tentative date timelines for where the project's going to start first, or in phases, and at what point Are they doing it? Because right now, down near Valley View and Charleston, it's all under construction. They're bringing these gigantic box sewer systems going into the street. One of the things that I don't like to see is when we do capital projects in the city is when we get it all finished and the new street gets put in after the new sewers are brought in, and then we go back and tear it up again. So it's not very cost efficient. But the other item is too, on your outreach program, you said it was done through focus groups. Was it all online?
Thank you, Commissioner, to the chair to you. So most of this was done in person. We did have several meetings that were here at City Hall. We had some at Mirabelli Community Center, and we had some that were just out in the community itself, meeting with people. For a few that were online, that was specifically targeted to a subset, usually like developers. We had, because there were some from all across the country, we had, it was just a logistical issue. So it was a range of different things, but we did, and the consultant team did a really good job. This plan is our second one that's also in Spanish. A lot of the collateral was in English and Spanish. The surveys were both in English and Spanish, and a lot of that can be found on our website, lasvegasnevada.gov/Charleston. So there was a really concerted effort to make sure that we're trying to get as many perspectives and people touch it across the board as possible.
Yeah, because my question deals with the furthest west portion on Charleston that applies to my ward that I represent. And I can tell you right now, if I showed this to anybody in the ward, they have no idea what I'm talking about. So I don't think there was a sufficient outreach to the communities west of Buffalo. And it's the problem of when you're doing surveys, how valid are they? And then when the construction starts, you got a bunch of really angry homeowners and stuff saying, who approved this? Why? I was never asked anything on this. So that's going to be a concern for me. I can't support it as of right now. I really can't for those reasons.
So, Commissioner, I believe this plan actually ends at Buffalo. I live in that furthest west neighborhood. So is that correct, Marco? Yeah, so the boundary is actually right at the Ward 1
Yeah, I was
western boundary.
hearing that the light rail system is going to go all the way to Pavilion Center.
So that is part of, Marco, if you want to pull that slide back up. So this is part of this is the Let's Go Charleston project, which is the RTC project that Marco mentioned. You're correct, that does run from Summerlin all the way to the east end of Charleston, and that is a separate outreach that has just kicked off, very recently through RTC. So that's a separate outreach specifically on studying high-capacity transit along Charleston. So they're related, but they're separate outreach.
Right, well, that's the question, is how it's going to impact other communities that were not put into the fold of it. In addition, if you look at Mass Transit using the current bus systems that they're using on Charleston, in addition, it takes you all the way to the baseball field in the Summerlin, downtown Summerlin area. Those particular areas there I don't see very much bus traffic. Even when there's games, I don't see there. So, are we wasting time and resources where that money could be better spent in other areas? So, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Commissioner, through the chair to you, so yeah, this part of it just started. This is through a separate consultant team, Nelson Nygaard. They are looking, and again, they just started, they're looking at ridership, they're looking at what type of mode. There will be a lot more opportunities for public outreach on what this actually looks like here over the months to come. And there's nothing that's been decided on this. It's really at the very beginning. Whatever form this is, it might be a recommendation that it's it's bus service up to a certain point, and then after that, it's your traditional fixed route RTC transit service, something like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the traffic study also on Charleston, because it gets pretty congested up there, and if you put a split rail system in it, you're going to take more of that traffic space away. It's going to cause a lot more problems. It's a widely used road all the way into Red Rock Mountain. So, yeah, I would, if anything, I would recommend to you is if you could establish a focus group somewhere in the from Buffalo on, from residents and people and businesses within that area, and ask them about it, what they would think.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner
through you.
DeSalvio.
Yes, thank you. Margot, appreciate the presentation. So this is a build off the 2050 master plan that we did, right? You know, they just reworked Charleston. We spent, like, I don't know, about a year and a half redoing that, and we're going up Charleston to Jones right now. Is light rail truly a vision for that area? Because, I mean, we just, like, literally tore up every piece of that from the 15 right now and on our way to Jones. And I'd hate to see it re-tore up again after we just put everything down in there. So is that truly like a vision or not?
Yeah, Marco Vallata for the record, through the chair to you. So that is one of several considerations that will be talked through as as RTC and the community goes through this process. And you know, right now, again, it's at the very beginning. There's still engineering that needs to be done. There would still need to be right-of-way acquisition. I mean, this is a project that doesn't have funding for the infrastructure itself or the operations. That's something that comes later. So by the time we get, I mean, Maryland Parkway, just again, by way of example, that took more than 10 years for it to get planned and then ultimately built. And yes, I mean, there have been a number of road projects on Maryland Parkway itself. Some of that same storm drain work that's been going on Charleston and Maryland right now, and up, you know, Maryland and 13th. That's, that's something that had to be done in coordination with this project. So with Charleston, I would say the same type of timeline would probably need to be thought of. I mean, it might be another 5 years plus before you actually start seeing something constructed, whether that's some type of center running BRT, light rail, or if it's just standard bus service that's enhanced, that's a little bit easier and different cost. Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Munford?
Yes. I was just pulling up with the President Trump's BBB bill that just passed. I guess I was just on a webinar talking about OZ zones. And in his first term, you know, he passed OZ 1.0. With this new bill, there'll be OZ 2.0. The governors are gonna, and I'm looking at the current opportunity zone map, and a lot of the air, like along that Charleston corridor, and a lot of the older parts of Las Vegas, in the first selection by the governor back then, they left a lot of those areas out. And I think it's critical with OZ 2.0 that these areas, that we make sure that we let the governor know that these areas need to be put in there. And, you know, that's, I worked for a company that's doing High-Low Park and doing the Gateway project for the city of North Las Vegas. All that development, most of that development's been funded by OZ zones. And so I think it's critical. I'm even looking in Ward 5, you know, there's big sections, yet we got the stadium. We got 2 stadiums in OZ zones, but these areas we don't.
Yeah. Commissioner, through the chair to you, yeah, as with the first round of opportunity zones, you know, again, census data goes into that, and I know that had a process. I believe it's going to be very similar to how the first under the Jobs Act in 2017 would work for this under the Big Beautiful Bill. Again, that's something we can. I know our elected officials and our city management are aware of, and we'll work on to make sure that those tracks that are identified cover the areas that they're intended to for those tax purposes.
Thank you. And then I just have a couple quick questions. On your slide, and first, let me just say again, Mr. Vallada, thank you for the great presentation and all the work, and another wonderful special area plan. When you've got your housing slide that talks about the diverse housing options, was there any consideration, discussion, analysis of what was needed in terms of the type of unit from the perspective of owned versus rented? I mean, were you looking at mid-rise, high-rise, townhouse, stacked triplex that were all rentals, or were you doing any analysis of what the needs were or the desire was to have opportunities for home ownership as well?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for the question. Marco Vallada for the record. So right now, it's about a 60-40 split in terms of ownership versus rentals. Rentals versus owners, which is fluctuated over time, of course. I mean, that for some of the other areas around downtown Las Vegas, that's been kind of typical. It's been within that range, more rentals than owners. So the idea, though, is that there's a range of different housing types. The TOD ordinance, it has as drafted and was included in the back from the last meeting, there are several zoning districts that are included, R3, R4, and RTH. That's the townhouse zoning. The thought is mixed-use development can incorporate residential and the floors above a ground floor commercial component or something to that effect, or your standard apartments, townhomes, things to that effect. We would like to see more of that integration of ownership options with rental options. Again, it speaks to some of these components that are listed here. I mean, right now you have a lot of naturally affordable housing. It's in the form of rentals, but there's also a lot of parcels, maybe a little bit more so here than in East Las Vegas, in which you have owners that have been living there, and they've been living there for generations, and has continued to be passed down or sold on the market to other people who have to purchase and not to rent. So having a lot of those options, and again, our affordable housing incentives have been set up so that it's agnostic as to whether it's for ownership options or for rentals. We have the ability to do both. Thus far, the incentives that have been that we have done a DSLRs, a declaration of special land use restrictions. They have been for rental projects, but the idea is to have a mix of them, and it can be open to anybody if the developer chooses to do it that way.
Okay, thanks. And the 60-40 split, is that 60 rent, 40
60
own?
rent, 40 own, yeah.
Okay. And then my other question, of course, and I'm looking forward to seeing your urban forestry and tree ordinance, but the intent is that whenever that gets drafted, that ordinance will get overlain into the special area plan in the different areas to make sure that you've got that walkability on those streets.
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right, thanks. All right, anybody have any last wrap-ups? No, okay. Then with that, I will go ahead and pass it to Commissioner Rogan for a motion, if he's ready.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you again, Marco, for all your work on this. With that, I'd make a motion to approve the adoption of the Charleston Area Special Plan. It's Agenda Item 33, Project 25-0179 DIR1.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please, okay, post, and that motion passes. All right.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, that will be at City Council on September 17th.
Thank you.
Chair, just for the record, for some reason, I'm grayed out on this. I was a yes vote on that.
Okay.
So,
Madam Clerk, did you get that? Okay, great. Thank you. Item 34, 25-0285-DIR1, applicant owner, City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, for possible action on a request for a review of preliminary plan for consideration of redevelopment Area 3, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends approval. Good evening. If you could please state and spell your name for the record and tell us about the plan.
Good evening, Chairperson Taylor and Commissioners. I'm Tracy Reich. Last name is R-E-I-C-H. I'm the Redevelopment Manager in the Office of Economic and Urban Development here at the City of Las Vegas. Tonight, I'm here to discuss the first steps of creating a new redevelopment area for the East Las Vegas area and ask for your approval for the proposed study area. First, I want to thank the Citizens Advisory Committee to the Redevelopment Agency and my team member, Alex Strasser, for the work that they have put in to get to this point in the process. So how did we get to this point? As Marco just talked about the 2050 City of Las Vegas Master Plan, the 16 sub-areas that were identified for those, we are going to talk about the East Las Vegas Plan. The East Las Vegas Plan, or the Nuestro Futuro, I'm having issues tonight, is a special area plan for there. One of the core ideas, this was passed in June of 2023, one of the core areas calls for creating a sense of place with mixed-use hubs throughout redevelopment of aging commercial areas. The plan talks about the benefits of redevelopment, and to achieve these benefits, to recommended expanding the redevelopment area to include the East Las Vegas area in the boundaries. So why a new redevelopment area? The redevelopment areas have tools that can be used to create specific outcomes within an area. Purchasing land, working with landowners, infrastructure upgrades, incentives for private investment are amongst those, and redevelopment is used to strengthen the neighborhood through residential, retail, and commercial projects, plus eliminate blight. The plan calls for expanding redevelopment Area 1. It was determined that it would be more beneficial to create a new redevelopment area because of the longer period of existence than expanding the redevelopment Area 1, which sunsets in 2045. The steps to create a new redevelopment area are the same as if we were going to expand an existing one. First, you have to propose a designated study area for evaluation. A blight study is then conducted of that proposed study area where staff or consultant goes physically property by property and documents the condition of each of those parcels. Public outreach is conducted with the neighborhood, property owners, and business owners to understand not only the process of what's going on, but the benefits of designating a new area. A preliminary redevelopment plan is then drafted. An ordinance creating the redevelopment area within that new plan is brought forward to the Planning Commission again, to the Redevelopment Agency, and to the City Council. The proposed designated study area was based on the recommendations within the East Las Vegas plan. The Citizens Advisory Committee to the Redevelopment Agency reviewed, discussed, and made recommendations on the proposed area. The Redevelopment Agency staff drove the neighborhood, noting conditions of property and potential redevelopment sites and corridors. The study area was created from this process. So for context, this is redevelopment areas 1 and 2. We're going to talk about on that very far right side, you see a yellow boundary there. That is the far east boundary of the current redevelopment area 1. The pink area that you see on the far left is that exact same boundary. The yellow lines around most of this map represent the City of Las Vegas jurisdictional boundaries, and the pretty light blue is the new proposed study area for redevelopment Area 3. So tonight we're here to talk about start the steps necessary to create redevelopment Area 3. A proposed study area is before you for consideration. The proposed area will then be submitted to the Redevelopment Agency and City Council on September 17th. If approved, the staff will begin the blight study and public outreach. So between now, seeing you now tonight, and the next time we come before you, if it's approved for the Planning Commission, besides the blight study of going parcel to parcel and doing that, we will be conducting public outreach. We anticipate a significant amount of bilingual outreach, not just, we'll be doing some public meetings, but also talking to different property owners and residents and businesses within the area. We will also be drafting the redevelopment area plan per NRS 279.578. These are the things that are required within there, and you will see in the proposed plan when we bring it back forth to you, probably spring of next year. So tonight, we are seeking Planning Commission's approval of the proposed study area for redevelopment area 3 in East Las Vegas, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. I'll pass it back to the commission. Anybody have questions? Oh, I'll start with Commissioner Schlottman.
Yes, Chairwoman, through you. I'm on the CAC, which is a recommending body to the redevelopment agency, and I worked with, Tracy and Alex, sorry about that, and the rest of the board. And when we first looked at this redevelopment area, some people were confused why we're creating a redevelopment area here. And when we think of redevelopment areas, often we think of entertainment districts, we think of the medical district, we think of bars and restaurants and nightlife and new housing. But, it's important to understand, on this particular one, when Sam Cherry, who sits on the board with us, former planning commissioner, he and I went out and we drove this neighborhood and spent a few hours driving all the streets. One of the things to keep in mind is this isn't just to funnel money into bars and restaurants and other things such as that. We've seen a lot of CVS and older buildings that were just really run down with windows beat out of them and starting to roofs collapsing and things such as that. And there's so many neighborhood services that could go into some of these buildings, whether it's a drugstore or small little grocery store, or any of these neighborhood services that this neighborhood desperately needs. And when we're considering, should we recommend this be an expansion to one of our current RDAs, or should it be a new RDA? All of us thought that there's no way to make this an expansion of an existing RDA, because if you have it as an expansion of the Arts District or RDA 1, basically those incremental dollars that's being collected in taxes could potentially be taken and used in other areas. And we want every incremental dollar that is generated in that neighborhood to be reinvested in that neighborhood. And the only way that we can guarantee that is by creating a new RDA. So it's not just the sunsetting and how long this, that we'll have like a longer time frame on a new one. It's to ensure that those dollars get reinvested into that neighborhood where they desperately need to be invested. And there are a few of the streets where there's some great redevelopment going on, putting in new facades on some of these shopping centers, and this will definitely help put those dollars back to those developments that really need it. But those are my comments.
Thank you. Anybody else from the commission have any questions or comments? Okay, so what I forgot to do is open this for public comment. This item has been noticed for public comment. Are there, now that you've heard the presentation and the comments from Commissioner Schlottman, any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment and pass it back to Commissioner Schlottman for a motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, through you, I move to approve on item number 3425-0285, DIR1. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. And please post. And that passes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We look forward to bringing back the final product for you to review.
And that will be at City Council on September 17th.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to the top of the agenda with item 13, abeyance 24-0185, applicant Fresh General Services LLC, owner Sataray Properties Group LLC, for possible action of the following land use entitlement project requests at 200 North Lamb Boulevard, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. Okay, great. 13A, abeyance 24-0185 ZON1 from R1 Single Family Residential to PO Professional Office. 13B, 24-0185 VAR1 to allow 5 parking spaces where 6 are required. 13C, 24-0185 SDR1 for the proposed conversion of an existing single-family dwelling into a 1,584 square foot office development with waivers of perimeter landscape buffer requirements. And then what we're going to do, since it is the same applicant and their adjacent properties, we're going to go ahead and also have you present on 14. We'll do them same time. So number 14, abeyance 24-0186, applicant Fresh General Services LLC, owner Sataray Properties Group LLC, for possible action of the following land use entitlement project requests at 212 North Lamb Boulevard, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. 14A, abeyance 24-0186 ZON1 from R1 Single Family Residential to PO Professional Office. 14B, 24-0186 VAR1 to allow 5 parking spaces where 6 are required. 14C, 24-0186 SDR1 for the proposed conversion of an existing single-family dwelling into a 1,736 square foot office development with waivers of perimeter landscape buffer requirements. May we please have the staff reports for items 13 and 14?
Madam Chair, Jonathan Boyles for the record. The proposed rezoning from R1 single-family residential to PO professional office is in conformance with the existing office general plan designation under the East Las Vegas area of the Las Vegas 2050 master plan. However, staff does not support the requested rezoning due to the requested variance for insufficient on-site parking, waivers to not install required landscape buffers, and exceptions to not install required planting materials associated with the proposed development. Therefore, staff cannot support the requested rezoning, variance, and site development plan review for both projects. Please note that additional documents for protest and support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Boyles, was that for 13 and 14? Is that the staff report for both? Okay. Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you could go ahead and please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about your project.
Yeah, my name is Guillermo Sataray. That's Guillermo Sataray. I'm with Fresh General Services at 7318 West Lee Barron Avenue. And the only reason why I'm here is because we are proposing a change from a residential R1 to a general office for professional use. We are asking that you guys reduce the amount of spots, parking spots, from 6 to 5. My designer was in contact with Jonathan Boyles. That has been very helpful along the way to provide as the best design possible. We understand that you guys don't want anyone backing out onto land, so we went ahead and turned those parking spots so that we can avoid that problem. As far as parking, as far as landscaping, the landscaping buffer that you guys are asking for on the north side, we have not been able to provide that just because that will take away the 2 extra additional parking spots that we were able to provide. And we asked that the landscaping makes up for that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Both items 13 and 14 have been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on these items? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing and will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Schlottman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I remember this application from, it feels like 9 months ago, and at that point, we were in support. We just wanted to see the SDR, and I appreciate you taking our advice, going back, getting the SDR, or submitting the SDR application, coming forth with the complete package so we could actually see what you're doing, seeing how the parking would work out, and the landscaping that you would be putting in along the front. I mean, these properties are along Lamb are more suited for professional office versus a residential house at this point in time. So anyways, thanks for going back, going through all the legwork, giving us a complete package. You're just about there on parking and everything else. So I'm in support of this, unless if anybody else has any comments.
Any comments from the rest of the commission? Nope, okay. So Commissioner, if you would like to make a motion on item 13 first?
Yes, Madam Chair, on item number 13, abeyance 24-0185, that's 13A, B, and C. I move to approve, subject to staff's conditions, and you agree to all staff's conditions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. And please post. That motion carries. And Commissioner, if you would like to make a motion on number 14.
Yes, through you,
Madam Chair, I'm
you
sorry,
very much.
really quick. Item number 13, that will move on to City Council on September 17th, 2025. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, on item number 14, abeyance 24-0186, move to approve, subject to staff's conditions, and you agree to all staff's conditions have approved?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please post. And that also passes.
Thank you
And
very
Madam
much.
Chair, that also will move forward to City Council on September 17th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 15, abeyance 25-0216, applicant owner Opportunity Village, for possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests on the east side of Tom Boulevard between Rome Boulevard and Deer Springs Way, Ward 6, Bruni. Staff recommends approval on the land use entitlement project. 15A 25-0216 VAR1 to allow 2 wall signs per tenant or building elevation where 1 sign is the maximum number allowed. 15B abeyance 25-0216 MSP1 for a master sign plan for an approved social services campus, multifamily residential complex, and retail development. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Christian Gates, Senior Planner, Community Development, for the record. The proposed sign package is associated with the variance to exceed the number of wall signs per tenant elevation, which staff finds to be a self-imposed hardship. Therefore, staff recommends denial of all requested entitlements, subject to conditions if approved. Please note, additional letters of protest and support have been received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Madam Chair, Bob Brown, President and CEO of Opportunity Village. For the record, address, which one do we want to use? 6050 South Buffalo.
And if you wanted to walk through the project and what your master sign plan is, and what the requested variance is.
Yeah, well, obviously, this is a huge project for Opportunity Village, a local nonprofit. We've raised over $50 million to build this. It's housing for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We've worked very closely with the neighborhood. Everybody's in most everybody's in favor. Obviously, you'll always get a couple people. I think that the element that we're talking about tonight is the signage, and the reason that we have more signs on our buildings is because we have to raise all that money locally, so we have donors, and so we have to put donor signs on the buildings. And that's it right there. It's
Okay.
not that we like signs.
All right. Anything else?
There was some discussion about the trees. I think we had 400 trees that we're planting. I think we're down to 387. We had to cut out like 13 trees. Sorry about that. We love trees, and I wish I could plant more, but I don't have any room.
Okay. All right. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Is there any member of the public wishing to be heard on item number 15? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing. I will turn it back over to the commission. I just have a couple of questions for you, Mr. Brown. Are these signs, these are all actually on the buildings?
Yes.
Okay, and so these aren't signs that are like protruding
I
visually
think
or physically?
there's a monument sign, there's one monument sign that's next to the street, but that's the Opportunity Village sign.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Yes, Commissioner DeSalvio?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So exactly where is that monument sign? Is it up against adjacent existing residential properties to where it'd be any type of light
It's not.
pollution?
It's across the street from the Costco parking lot.
Okay.
The Costco.
Will those be
gas station.
illuminated 24/7, or will they be having time restrictions on them?
I don't know. I mean, there's lights on it. I don't know if they'll be on all night. There's ground lights coming up. But I would imagine that property's going to be lit most of the night.
What would those signs be advertising, that they would be lit 24/7?
Opportunity Village, just as Opportunity Village.
So is it a channeled lighting, or is it an LED? What kind of lighting is it?
It's a sign with a light shining up on it from the ground.
So it's a monument sign with channel lighting on it, so it's not a LED displayed sign?
I'm going to have to ask my architect with that. I'm not an architect, so I don't know what the... Is it an LED sign? No.
So it's just a static sign?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I guess just to follow up, so it's, since your architect's down here, so it's a static sign, but it is a good point about the hours that it's illuminated. So it's basically going to be on, is it going to be on Rome? Is that where the sign is?
It's going to be on Rome, across from the shopping center.
Okay. And then the signs on the buildings, do they have uplighting as well of any type, or downlighting, or are they just
I think
on the
they're just on the buildings. We don't want to have lighting on the buildings for the
Okay.
signs.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, great. Then with that, I am prepared to make a motion on this item, item 15, abeyance 25-0216, applicant owner Opportunity Village, and its subparts. I make a motion for approval. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. And please
Chair,
post.
excuse me, that's subject to conditions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always forget that, too. Sir, do you agree to all of staff's conditions as part of the approval? Okay, thank you. So that's a yes. All right. Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair, that item is final action tonight unless appealed to the city clerk within 10 days.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Item 17, abeyance 25-0016, applicant owner Bonanza Auto Plaza LLC et al. For possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at 4561 and 4565 East Bonanza Road, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, the proposed development modifications represent an attempt to overdevelop the subject site and will not be compatible or harmonious with the existing development in the surrounding area as evidenced by the required variance of parking and loading space requirements and exception for a reduction in perimeter landscape buffer trees. Staff therefore recommends denial of all requested entitlements, subject to conditions if approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Madam Chairwoman, Nathan Taylor, Nathantaylor, 8414 West Farm Road, representing the applicant. I'll be brief today. I'd first like to say that this board approved this project 2 years ago, so we're bringing this project back, just asking for a little bit of something, so I'll explain that really fast. What we've got here is we're asking for 6 additional bays that I'm pointing to right now. This was essentially dead space, so we're just asking for 6 additional bays. Nothing else on this project has changed at all. One thing I will address is 17A. It says that we're 43 parking spaces.
deficient, but I think it's worth mentioning that we do have a parking agreement with the adjacent parcel that I'm pointing to now, which just happens to be owned by the applicant here today. And I only want to show you this here today because, and I don't want him to get a big head, but Commissioner Schlottman had some great ideas a couple years ago. And one of them was that, I'll show you this one first. He wanted, so what you're looking at here is the block wall with the building that's already approved, except for the 6 additional bays. There are condos on this side. What I talked to Commissioner Schlottman about a couple years ago was that we wanted to make sure that that it looked nice, that it was something a little more aesthetically pleasing to the people that live in these condos. So we went with like 4 different colors. We did a different color on the top and all that kind of stuff. And then for those of you that weren't here 2 years ago, I wanted to show you this too. We kind of did the same thing with the front of the building. The idea is obviously just to make it aesthetically pleasing and to beautify the area. And so with that, we would just respectfully ask for your approval today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public hearing. I'll pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Schlottman.
Thank you, Chairwoman, through you. I remember this project. I think Commissioner Salvio was on here, maybe some of the others. And what Mr. Taylor represented is correct. We wanted to see a little bit more color, a little bit more pop on the back because there wasn't the trees. I think the neighbors have trees on that side, on the other side of the block wall. But nonetheless, this is just extending the building a little bit further of what was already previously approved, getting rid of the smog, the trees along the frontage, the main street. Is that Bonanza or remind me of the main
Yeah, it's Bonanza.
Bonanza are still remaining intact. And considering the use, I'm not worried about the parking. I feel people are going to be coming, dropping off their vehicles and leaving, so it's not a huge concern for me. If they can't find a place to park their vehicle, they're just going to bring it to another auto repair shop. And I did meet with Nathan and the applicants here on site a couple of years ago to look at site conditions and everything else. So I can get behind this based on what was previously approved.
Excuse me, Chair. Chair?
Yes.
Down here, the city attorney.
Sure.
Yes.
I think you need to read 17A, B, and C, which are the child items that were listed on the top of the next page.
I am so sorry. Council, can you say that again?
Can you read items, the sub to children, 17A, B, and C for this item? They're listed on the next page.
Yes, thank you. Okay, let me just make sure we read them all in. Thank you, City Attorney. All right, so 17A, abeyance 25-0016 VAR to allow 156 parking spaces where 199 parking spaces are required and to allow 1 loading space where 3 loading spaces are required. 17B, abeyance 25-0016 SUP1 for a major amendment to an approved special use permit for a proposed 6,368 square foot expansion of an approved 16,330 square foot auto repair garage, major use. And 17C, abeyance 25-0016 SDR for a major amendment to an approved site development plan review, 22-0428 SDR for proposed 1-story, 6,368 square foot expansion of an approved 16,330 square foot motor vehicle repair development. Mr. City Attorney, do I need to reopen public hearing because those weren't read into the record? Mr. Radilla? No, okay. All right, so got the record corrected. Anybody else on the commission have any other comments, questions on this? Anybody? Okay. All right, with that, Commissioner Schlottman, if you would like to make a motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, through you, on item number 17, abeyance 25-0016, 17A, B, and C, move to approve subject to staff's conditions, and you agree to all the conditions if approved?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Commissioner Munford? Thank you, please post, and that motion carries.
And Madam Chair, that item will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Okay, let's move on to item
Thank you,
number-
Commissioners. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Item number 20, abeyance 25-0207, applicant Laurel DaCosta, owner LDC Investments LLC, for possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at 901 Shifting Sands Drive, Ward 5, Summers, Armstrong. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. 20A, abeyance 25-0207 VAR1, to allow a 7-foot rear yard setback where 15 feet is required for an existing home addition. And item 20B, abeyance 25-0207 SUP1 for a proposed community residence, including family community residence and transitional community residence use. May we have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, the subject site is not suitable for the proposed use as there is already an established community residence located 185 feet southwest of the subject site, where a 660-foot separation is required from another community residence. Staff does not support the requested special use permit because the proposed community residence, together with the existing community residence, would alter the residential character of the neighborhood by creating an institutional atmosphere due to the concentration of community residences on the block or adjoining blocks. With regards to the requested variance to deviate from Title 19 rear yard setback development standards for an existing room addition, staff finds that no evidence of a unique or extraordinary circumstance has been presented and that the applicant's request is preferential in nature. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the requested variance. Please note additional documents for protest and support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here for this item? Laurel DaCosta, LDC Investments. Okay, Commissioner Munford, are you okay with trailing this to see if they come in?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm fine with
Okay,
that.
thank you. All right, let's move on to item 22, abeyance 25-0209, applicant owner Fremont Village LLC, for possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at 50 North 21st Street, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. 22A, abeyance 25-0209 VAR1, to allow 185 parking spaces where 226 spaces are required, and to allow 1 handicap space where 7 are required for an existing parking impaired development. 22B, abeyance 25-0209 SDR1, for a major amendment to an approved site development plan review, SDR 73305, for the addition of vehicle gates and a parking lot reconfiguration. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Revised plans were received that increased the number of accessible parking spaces from 1 to 5. However, a parking variance is still required due to the proposed parking lot reconfiguration, which would remove additional parking spaces from an already impaired development to accommodate motor vehicle gates. While these changes may better accommodate vehicle queuing, staff finds the resulting hardship to be self-imposed and preferential. Therefore, staff recommends denial of all requested entitlements, subject to conditions if approved. Please note, there are revised plans and staff report in your supplemental packet. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here for item 22? Anybody here from Fremont Village LLC? Okay, Commissioner Schlottman, how would you like to proceed with this, since there is no applicant here currently?
I was fine with this last time, and I don't know why it was held in abeyance previously, but I'm ready to hear this item.
Okay, do you want to trail it to see if they come in, or do you want to just go ahead and proceed with it?
No, I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you, go ahead. Unless anybody on the commission has a question or concern about this. I did not open it up. Okay, this item is, however, an item that was noticed for public hearing, so even though the applicant is not here, are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on item 22? Okay, I will close public hearing. I will pass it back to the commission, I believe. Commissioner Rogan, did you have a comment?
No, I think we kept it because he had made representations that the design of the parking lot was different than what had been submitted. That's why it had to come back. So I think we were all ready to approve it last time, though.
Okay, all right. Then if there's no other comments, I'll go ahead and make a motion, Commissioner.
Yes, Madam Chair. So this particular project, basically, they have plenty of parking. They only have 185 parking spaces where 226 are required, but I live in this area, and they basically are never overparked, and so plenty of parking, and this request is to put in the gate, and which has taken away a few extra parking spaces, so I can go ahead and support this item. So, Madam Chair, on item number 22, abeyance 25-0209, move to approve subject to staff's conditions.
Thank you.
And
There's
that's
a mo-
22A and B.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please post. And that motion passes.
And Madam Chair, that is final action. Let's appeal to the city clerk in 10 days.
Okay. Item 23, abeyance 25-0222, applicant owner Julio Cesar Anguila Diaz et al. For possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at the west side of Bradley Road, approximately 170 feet south of Alexander Road, Ward 5, Summers Armstrong. Staff recommends denial on the land use entitlement project. 23A, abeyance 25-0222, VAR1, to allow a 97-foot lot width where 100 feet is required, lot 01. 23B, abeyance 25-0222, VAR2, to allow a 97-foot lot width where 100 feet is required, lot 02. May we have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, there is no hardship related to the site's physical characteristics, and staff is not able to support the requested variances. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. If you can please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Good evening, Liz Olson, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of the applicant and property owner. This site is just over 1 acre, 1.3 to be exact. We're located just south of Alexander along Bradley. The site is currently zoned RE. The property owner would like to split the property in half to build 2 custom homes, one for himself and one for his son in the future. In order to do that, we are before you because the width of an RE lot requires to be 100 feet. The overall length of the site along Bradley is only 195 feet. So on each lot, we're about 2.5 feet short, but overall, we're significantly over the actual lot size requirement. 18,000 is required for RE, and we're both over 28,000 for these. So they're significantly large lots. Unfortunately, we just can't meet that 200-foot width along the right-of-way. So happy to answer any questions and appreciate the time.
Thank you. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing. I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So on the width, you're just missing like 3 feet or something like that?
Yeah, so about 2.5 feet on each lot. They rounded up to the 3, 190 feet, 95 feet total along this side here.
Is that on an earthquake fault? We might lose something if there's an earthquake. I'm just
Not that I know of.
No, I don't find that to be significant. And like you said, the lots are, I drove by, the lots are pretty big, so I don't think I have any problem with approving it
Okay.
for condition.
Sorry, Commissioner. Anybody else on the commission have any questions? No? Okay. Commissioner Munford, if you're prepared to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion for approvals, subject to all conditions, and that's according to staff. And you're fine with all conditions?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So I'd like to move for approval for item 23, abeyance 25-0222, and also 23A and 23B.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. I think we're just waiting for your vote, Commissioner Munford. Great. Please post. And that passes.
Thank you.
And that is final action tonight unless appealed to the city clerk in 10 days.
Thank you. Okay. Item 24, abeyance 25-0225, applicant owner International Church of Las Vegas, Inc. et al. For possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests on the south side of Cliff Shadows Parkway, west of Reverence Parkway, Ward 4, Alan Polensky. Staff recommends approval on the land use entitlement project. 24A, abeyance 25-0225, ZON1 from U, undeveloped, PCD planned community development general plan designation to PD plan development, 4.62 acres on APN 137-12-401-010, and 24C, abeyance 25-0225, VAC1, petition to vacate U.S. government patent easements generally located south of Cliff Shadows Parkway and west of Reverence Parkway, and public right-of-way within the Cheyenne Avenue alignment west of Clark County 215. May I have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, the site is located near a freeway, away from existing single-family residential development and adjacent to open space, making the site an appropriate location for the proposed PD Plan Development Zoning District. Staff emphasizes that no development is proposed on this site at this time. Any future development within the PD zoning district is subject to approval of a site development plan review, and a hillside review will be required on the site. So staff recommends approval of the requested rezoning. Additionally, staff notes that the easements to be vacated are no longer needed in their current configuration, and the right-of-way to be vacated is no longer needed to provide access to the adjacent parcels. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the rezoning and petition of vacation subject to conditions. Please note additional documents for protest and support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record and give us your address and tell us about the project.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. My name's Bob Gronauer, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. I'm here representing the property owner, the International Church of Las Vegas. On these two items, on 24A is a zone change, as staff has mentioned. This is just to put it in the planned development zoning category for we can come back later on when we do have a true project, and we'll show you that project at that point in time. On 24C, this is a vacation application for government patent easements. Your staff is recommending approval of that since those government patent easements are no longer needed. With that being said, I'm here to answer any questions and ask you to support staff's recommendation for approval.
Thank you. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Vice Chair Kasama.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for regarding this item. It's very standard with the vacation of easements, and like you said, just bring into plan. Looking forward to eventually seeing a developer come in, and we can kind of look at the plans closer at that point. But with that in mind, I have no other concerns, so I'm ready to make a motion for approval.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay. And the only comment or question that I would have is just if you have an idea, Mr. Gronauer, if these are going, if you're looking at developers to bring in a project that would be rental or that would be ownership opportunities?
Either is out there. I know we've had conversations, the church has had conversations with both developers on each side, so we don't know yet. It could be either or.
Okay, thank you. All right. Vice Chair Kasama, if you'd like to make your motion.
Thank you, Chair. With that, I'd like to make a motion for approval of item 24, abeyance 25-0225, and that would be 24A and 24C since we have table 24B.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes.
Excuse me, Chair, subject to conditions?
Oh, yes.
Subject to staff conditions.
Thank you.
Is that a yes, Mr. Gronauer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please post. And that motion passes.
Thank you very much and have a good night.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Okay, item 25-0107, SDR applicant owner NYC Development LLC for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed two-story, four-unit multifamily residential development at 213 Harrison Avenue, Ward 5, Summers Armstrong. Staff recommends approval. May we have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, the subject site is located in the historic West Side district of downtown Las Vegas. This district is dominated by sparse, low-rise residential neighborhoods and industrial zones. Two of the district's strengths are an abundance of open space and availability of parcels suitable for mid to large-scale development, easily accessible by all modes of transportation. For long-term success, the 100 Plan, a visioning and strategic planning document prepared by the UNLV Downtown Design Center, recommends promotion of contextual neighborhood infill and multifamily housing and appropriate amenities to stabilize the community. The proposed project is consistent with long-term plans for this neighborhood. Staff finds the proposed residential development is compatible with the adjacent development and redevelopment vision within the surrounding area of the subject site. Therefore, staff recommends approval, subject to conditions. Please note additional documents for support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Can you please state and spell your names for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project?
My name is Adrian Plata, and that's spelled ADRIAN PLATA. Address is 7219 West Sahara Avenue, Suite 105. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant who is next to me. Would you like to?
Hi, my name is Jacinto Sanchez.
So here we have the site plan. We've worked with the planner to comply with the T4N zoning, which is a very unique criteria to follow, but we were able to meet everything, so I'm just going to quickly describe it. Here we have a steps leading up to an entry porch, a front landscaped area, and then there is Unit 1 and Unit 2, and in the rear there are 3 parking spaces, 1 is ADA, and then there is a space for 2 dumpsters at the rear. This is more of a kind of a colored landscape area to show green is where landscape would go. We have the common area here, the building footprint, parking, trash, and then the covered walkway, which you will see in the renders. We have the overall first floor plan, which shows the units. There are 2 bedrooms for each unit, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This is the first floor, and this is the second floor, very similar. These are some flat elevations. And then I will show you some of the renders. And I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay. Seeing none, I will close public hearing. I will pass this back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no problem with this project. I think it's needed in this area. Staff has already approved it. I think it goes in line with everything that's trying to be accomplished in the historic West Side and in that community. Haven't heard anybody calling me complaining about the project. We need more housing in the area, so I have no problem with approving this.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Commissioner Rogan.
I just have a question for you, Mr. Plata. I noticed that you're using exterior stairs. Is there any reason why you did that and didn't just enclose the stairs? I mean, I think that these types of projects are more compatible with existing residential areas when it looks more like a home. And I think that the exterior stairs kind of detracts from that. I didn't know if that was just a design choice or it was dictated by building code or what.
A little bit of both. Your building code kind of helps create the design, and then also site too. So oh, you can't see that plan. So I grabbed the wrong one. So the second floor plan, we have to basically have some escape area over here, and also windows, door access, and then also accessibility for the mechanical room. If we enclose this, it's just going to be very dark in the second floor area. If we want to enclose it, we can enclose it, but it's just going to become more of a hallway.
So it's more of a design choice than a requirement by building code then?
At this point, maybe a design choice. We could probably make it work if we did encounter any deeper analysis during the building code analysis.
Okay, all right, thanks. I was just curious. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other comments, Commissioner Munford, if you'd like to make a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for approval, subject to all conditions. You're fine with all conditions?
Yes.
This would be for 25-0107 SDR1. I move for approval.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes.
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh? Who's not there? Okay. Please post. And that motion carries.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 26, 25-0144 SDR, applicant Panther Acquisitions LLC, owner City Parkway V Inc., for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed four-story, 103,200 square foot medical office building, including 1,500 square feet of commercial space with waivers of the Symphony Park design standards at the southeast corner of Robin Leach Lane and Promenade Place, Ward 5, Summers Armstrong. Staff recommends approval. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, the proposed medical office development provides a unique opportunity to strengthen downtown's role as the major employment center and supports the goals envisioned in the Vision 2045 Downtown Las Vegas Master Plan in fostering healthcare to become one of the leading industries that drives downtown's economy. Staff therefore finds the proposed development is harmonious and compatible with the surrounding area and recommends approval of the site development plan review subject to conditions. Please note, there is a revised justification letter and staff report in your supplemental packet. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good evening, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. For the record, John Curran, 10801 West Charleston, here on behalf of Panther Acquisitions. First, a brief history. Our group entered into a disposition and development agreement with the City of Las Vegas last October to acquire this westernmost 1.4-acre site of parcel JK, as it's known in Symphony Park. Part of that development agreement was to develop a minimum of a 100,000 square foot medical office building. We're pleased to present the design for that today. So it's a 4-story, 103,200 square foot medical office building. A challenge to design and develop a project next to a Frank Gehry designed building and in the shadows of the Smith Center, but we're very pleased with how our proposed design has turned out, and it's been fairly well received by the market as well. So we're excited to move this project forward, and we've got some great interest from high-quality medical users that will bring to Symphony Park. And I just wanted to make a quick note on parking. The staff report does mention there are technically 0 spaces. However, the city will design and construct a temporary parking lot on the balance of parcel JK, which we'll be able to utilize on a temporary basis. We're also utilizing existing parking infrastructure in the adjacent parking garages, so there will be ample parking for our project. The city has gone out for RFP for development proposals for the balance of the site. That eventual project will integrate with us and also have additional parking to help accommodate our project. As always, it's a pleasure working with staff. Symphony, my first project with the Symphony Park Design Review Committee. I've done dozens of projects downtown and thrilled to have another one in Symphony Park. And yeah, we're excited to move this project forward. So with that, happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, respectfully request you follow staff's recommendation for approval.
Thank you very much. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will pass this back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This complements the, if I'm saying it right, the
Lou Ruvo Center for Brain.
Yeah, for brain. So, so some of the tenants are going to be probably complementing in terms of brain services for neural services for the brain and stuff.
Yes, we hope and expect this will serve as an expansion for the Cleveland Clinic, and we hope to bring some other high-quality medical offerings. It will be a multi-tenant medical office building, but we hope and expect a big portion of it will be the Cleveland Clinic.
Okay, great. I think this will be a great project and complement the entire area. I have no problem approving this.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else on the commission have any comments or questions?
I just have a
Commissioner
question.
Morgan.
Thank you, Chair. The Symphony Park Design Review Committee, they took issue with the siding for the materials. Are you intending to change anything in that regard as you move forward?
Yeah, so we're working on putting together materials board and get samples for them, and you know, we're confident that this is going to be, you know, a super high quality product and you know, worthy of standing next to them. We continue to work through all those items with Symphony Park Design Review Committee. We're in constant communication with them. I think their sort of approval process continues on through the building permit process as well. So you know, it's again a project that's been well received by a lot of high quality tenants, and we're excited about it, and you know, we think it'll you know, be a really nice addition to the streetscape and landscape down there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? All right, seeing no other comments from the commission, Commissioner Munford, if you want to make your motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for approval, subject to all conditions. You're fine with all the conditions, sir?
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to make a motion for approval. I'm sorry, that's for 25-0144-SDR1.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Okay, please post. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
And we'll move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you. Item 27, 25-0169, VAR applicant owner Jorge Luis Yanis Jimenez for possible action on a land use entitlement project request to allow 2 proposed residential accessory structures, casita and storage that do not conform with Title 19.06 development standards for size, coverage, and separation at 505 Holland Avenue, Ward 5, Summers, Armstrong. Staff recommends denial. May we have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, staff finds the request to be a self-imposed hardship as the proposed structures can be redesigned to meet Title 19. Therefore, staff is recommending denial of the variance. Please note an additional document of protest was received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Good evening. My name is Jaime de la Vega. I'm representing the owner in this occasion, and I'd like to describe what's the project itself. This is the property. It's just a 6,500 square feet lot, and the existing residence is just 884 square feet. They have a patio cover that they already submit plans to building department for permitting, and this is the proposed addition, which is 624 square feet. And we have a rear setback 5 feet, side setback 5 feet and 5 feet, and it's 7 feet 10 inches separation from the patio cover. And this is the floor plan, which is a living area, a small living area, full bathroom and a bedroom, and the rest of the space is just an unfinished storage. And the idea of the owners is not to rent and not to sell this property, this little apartment, but it's going to be for the older son that just get married and don't have any place to live at this time. And this construction, they start building without permits, but the code enforcement show up and stop the construction, and they like to apologize and try to make everything right and comply with the building codes and with all the city regulations. And I think that's it, you know. They try to save, and they really like to keep this little construction. And this is an elevation that gives you an idea of how it's going to look when they finish the construction. It's going to look like this. And everything is compatible with the existing residence. You know, a stucco, asphalt shingles. It's just a very simple structure. It's nothing fancy. And as I mentioned before, it's just 624 square feet. And I guess I'll be able to answer any question you may have some.
Thank you, sir. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing. I'll pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sir, from what I understand, was you renting these units out before?
Yes, what happened, this was first.
And there was an issue with, is that what the real issue was, that you were renting multiple units in the back? In this home, is this your primary residence?
This is going to be the primary residence.
It's going to be, or?
Yes, it's going to be. It's going to be, and on the back, on the proposed structure, which is like a little apartment, the son is going to live there. See, this is the primary residence right now, and this is the existing patio cover, and this is the proposed casita or apartment, and the plan is that the older son of the owners, they're going to live here. It's a family of 3 members.
That was I think the initial concern. There was multiple units that you were renting, and it's not zoned for that.
Yes, but the owners, they understand. On their first talk with planning and zoning, I explained to them that this is not a place, you know, for renting and anything, and they are accept conditions and not to rent and not to sell this property.
Okay. And then from what I understand too, planning was telling me that the storage area should have accessibility to the residential area. Is that correct, planning?
Madam Chair, through you, yes, all interior rooms should have access to them. It's a fire safety concern. So if this is approved tonight, that separation wall between the living unit and the storage unit will need to be fire rated.
Yeah.
Would you be able to make that change and put a door possibly so there's accessibility from that unit into the storage area?
Yes, we are able to do that.
We could add that as a condition?
Yes.
Okay.
We accept that.
So, me personally, I don't have a problem with, you know, I understand, you know, especially nowadays with the cost of housing and all that, you know, I have young adults living with me right now. It's, you know, sometimes we got to do what we got to do. So, you family members, living back there, the only issue we're going to have is if it ends up multifamily or there's a bunch of people living back there. So I don't have any problem per the condition of adding that access door from the residence into the storage. And I would go ahead and be able to approve that per that condition.
Yes, we accept that. Yeah.
Madam Chair, through you, if I may, we will need to edit one of the conditions. So on condition number 2 of 25-0169-VAR1, that condition will read, a variance is hereby denied to allow a 0-foot separation from another structure where 6 feet is required. And then for clarification, we will add a condition that reads, a doorway shall be provided between the living portion and the storage portion of the accessory structure. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Any issues from the commission? All right, seeing none, Commissioner Munford, if you would like to go ahead and make your motion.
I'd like a motion for approval for 25-0169 VAR1 per the condition, per all conditions and per staff conditions. You're fine with the conditions?
Yes, we agree with the condition.
Okay. I recommend this for approval and for vote. Motion.
Subject to amended conditions?
Subject to the conditions.
Yes, we accept the conditions.
As amended.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a motion not showing up on our screens to, oh, here we go. Motion on the floor, please cast your vote. A yes is for approval on the project subject to existing and amended conditions. And please post, and that carries.
Thank you so much.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you.
Item 28, 25-0182 SDR1, applicant Peterson Management LLC, owner Madison Church LLC, for possible action on a land use entitlement project request for a proposed parking facility concurrent with an improved mixed-use development with waivers of perimeter landscape buffer requirements at 300 South 7th Street, Ward 3 Diaz. Staff recommends denial. May we please have the staff report? Who's got the staff report?
Madam Chair, staff supports efforts to meet the demand for additional parking in the downtown area. However, in this particular area, development standards do not encourage temporary parking lots. As such, staff supports providing perimeter and interior landscaping as required by Title 19. Therefore, staff recommends denial of the requested site development plan review. Please note additional documents for support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. If you could please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Good evening, Liz Olson, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of the applicant and property owner. This site is 0.8 acres. We're located downtown on 7th Street and Bridger. We're directly across the street from Las Vegas Academy, to give you a better idea of exactly where we are. Some history of this site. There's currently an existing building here on the north side and an existing parking lot. The building was currently being operated by a church. They have since moved. While the church was there, they were also operating the parking lot as a paid parking lot, although they did not have the appropriate entitlements to do so. They have, again, since moved out and sold the property to our client. Prior to this application, there is a current mixed-use development that is approved on this site. The current property owner is trying to finalize exactly what he would like to do on the property, whether it be that mixed-use development or something else. In the meantime, he would like to continue the use of that paid parking lot. It's been in operation, although without entitlements, of course, since 2017. What they would do to bring this up to code a little bit more here is restripe all of the internal lines and parking spaces internal to the parking lot to ensure that those parking spaces are up to code standards. Additionally, there are 3 landscape diamonds here along 7th Street, as you can see in that plan as well here in this photo. What the applicant is proposing to do is place trees that should be in there right now to provide obviously some landscaping. Code would require them to provide all of the landscaping internal to the site as well as significantly more landscaping along the perimeter as well. That would require them to tear up the concrete, put all of the irrigation in, to just really tear it up again if they were to move forward with that mixed-use development that is currently approved on the site. To ensure that we do provide some assurance that those trees will be mature, since this is potentially temporary, we would like to offer the proposed condition that would relate to those trees in the diamonds here. And that condition would read, large, fast-growing trees as indicated in the Southern Nevada Regional Planning Coalition Regional Plant List. The size at planting would be a minimum of 3-inch caliber measured 6 inches above ground at the time of planting. So hopefully that provides, again, some assurance that will provide some larger trees in the area and provide some shade along 7th Street. So with that, happy to answer any questions, and again, appreciate the time.
Thank you, Ms. Olson. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Schlottman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. I remember this parking lot back from many years ago, like way before 2017, and you know, it's been there. I know that there's other development plans on this property, and I'm fine with restriping this and keeping it as a parking lot in the interim. So I know that we can use parking in that area and in a lot of these areas around downtown. So I'll be in support of this item.
Thank you, Commissioner Schlottman. Anybody else? Any comments? Nope. I'll just say thank you for taking on the larger trees for those 3 planters. I wish that you could do more on the interior, but hoping you can get a project underway that'll better expand the urban forestry that's part of the 2050 master plan for this area and for the whole city. So that was my one comment. Commissioner Schlottman, if you want to make a motion.
Yes, through you, Chair. Question for staff do we need to reread that condition, or is
thank you.
it as read into the record sufficient with city clerk and planning department?
Madam Chair, through you, I will refer to the city clerk. Would you like for us to read that again?
Only if it's an added, amended condition. Is it already on the record?
That is an added condition.
Okay, then we need to read it.
Okay. And Madam Chair, through you, that condition reads, large, fast-growing trees as indicated in the Southern Nevada Regional Planning Coalition Regional Plant List. The size and planting would be a minimum of 3-inch caliper, measured 6 inches above ground at the time of planting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On item number 28, 25-0182 SDR1, I move to approve subject to staff's conditions and the edit condition as written to the record by Ms. Eddowes. And you agree to all staff's conditions?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There is a motion on the floor. Please cast your vote. Please post. And that passes.
Thank you.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you. Okay, item 29, 25-0262 VAR1, applicant owner Dwayne Glenn Martinson for possible action on a land use entitlement project request to allow existing residential accessory structures, shed and stables, a proposed residential accessory structure, detached garage, and an existing front yard wall that do not conform to Title 19.06 development standards for setback, separation, and solid wall height at 5471 Florine Street, Ward 5, Summers Armstrong. Staff recommends denial. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, this variance request is the result of an open code enforcement case. No unique or extraordinary circumstance related to the physical characteristics of the property have been presented to warrant the requested variance. As such, the hardship is self-imposed, and therefore staff recommends denial of this variance request subject to conditions if approved. Please note, additional letters of support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. If you can please state and spell your names for the record.
Yeah, good evening.
Tell us
Todd
your-
Hargrove.
Oh, and then
from
just
Tough
tell us
Shed.
your address and tell us about the project, and now I'll let you go.
Todd Hargrove from Tough Shed, 7055 Wendy Street, representing the owner, Dwayne Martinson. This kind of started off just as a detached garage project, and it kind of just escalated into a few other factions that we need to address as well. We're looking to do a 20-foot setback from the front, which requires a 50-foot setback. The reason why we're requesting this setback is because there's a septic and leach field right behind that 50-foot setback. So we're working with Southern Nevada Health District on that as well, so we will get the tenant improvement for that. The other issues here, the stable that's been there since the house has been there has a 0 setback at the rear property line. The other shed that's under 200 square feet is 4.5 feet distance from the house, but they're both stuccoed and tiled, so it matches really well. The fence on the front, he does have a pretty cool looking fence. It's just that the wrought iron where it's supposed to be visible, it's more like a wood panel slats for that. Main reason my customer has desired to go this route with that is because he's on that corner where Bradley is, and the cars driving by with the lights, it helps kind of mute that, being on the corner right there. I'm more than happy to answer any questions anybody has about this project.
Thank you, sir. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public hearing. I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, from my understanding, it's just a lot of stuff. When was this house built?
1962.
1962.
So
And it
I
was-
actually
it's
did
already-
some
and
digging,
this-
sir, on that too. So I did find a assessor's copy of that, and it actually showed the stable on there too. But this is where the pool ended up being going, so they put the stable over here, where it is now.
Are there horses on property now, or?
No, sir, there's no
No horses? Do you need that stable, or?
It's mostly being used as storage and craft shops right now.
Okay. I mean, my father, he had a ranch-style house. We had horses, and he had sheds up and stuff. I know that wasn't approved. I mean, and his house was built about the same time. But right now, you want to put a tough shed in.
A garage.
A garage.
Because there's no garage on the property.
Okay, and that's next to the existing driveway.
That is going to go right next to existing driveway, you are correct. So on this one, I kind of showed out where the leach field is on this. Let me get this turned. There you go. So this is where the garage would go right here. This is where the leach field and septic tank is, right here.
Okay. And a lot of the properties are similar in this area, right? They're
Yes, sir.
all older properties.
single-family homes. There's Asquarians throughout the entire neighborhood. And I just think it's really important to have a garage, not only just because of the aesthetics of that area and having that opportunity to put my vehicle in the garage because it's very hot here, but also people race up and down Bradley. It'll actually circumvent and reduce some of that noise coming into my home.
We also did get 3 neighbors, direct neighbor signatures, and I do have a copy. I could give this to any of the commissions, and that support his.
Oh, you got copies? I made lots of copies. Do you need lots of copies?
I do.
So may I add about the neighbors? First of all, I am glad I had the opportunity to meet my neighbors. I've been in that neighborhood for 3 years, and there's only been one neighbor there that's been there longer than myself. The rest of them have built a brand new home. The neighbors next to me are building a brand new home. I think it's great that we have that small little community right there, and now that I put a name with a face, that just adds to the value of that community. But they're all in support. They don't see that there is a problem with the fence. They actually love my fence. They don't have a problem with the pool house or the stables, and they welcome the garage only because it will only improve their value should they choose to sell. So I'm just really excited to work with Todd and Tough Shed. We've been doing this, we've been working on this project for over 2 years. I'm just excited and hopefully energetic when you give me the green light to move forward, because this is something that is near and dear to my heart. I just want it to happen in the right way, in the legal way to get this done.
Okay. Yeah, and from what I understand, it was, the Tough Shed kind of triggered other stuff with code.
Unfortunately, but that's okay. Now it's up to fruition, so I'm glad.
So, and then I was just talking to our city attorney. I don't know if you remember me. I used to coach at Legacy. So.
I do remember you, but I didn't want
So
to. I don't want to put that out there, but I'm still the director of men's basketball there.
Okay, but so anyway, I don't, because of the community, because of the age of the home, you know, I don't have a problem of approving this, just because it's an older community, and I'm familiar with that area. A lot of those properties are horse properties. My father was an old cowboy. We had horses. We put sheds up. We put all kinds of stuff, and so. But and then I'd motion for approval subject. Is there any with planning department? Is there any changes or anything that we have to do? So I would go ahead and motion for approval of your project. I don't think it's a.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if there's anybody else with any questions or comments. No? Okay. All right, go ahead and put your motion on then, Commissioner Munford.
I would like motion for approval, subject to all conditions. You'd be fine with all the conditions that planning has?
Yes, sir.
I would motion for approval for item 25-0226 VAR1.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion on the floor. Please cast your vote. Commissioner Schlottman. Oh, there we go.
Commissioner Munford.
Here we go. Please post. And that motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that item will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 30, 25-0277, applicant Platinum Management Group 6 LLC, owner My Charleston Plaza LLC, for possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at 5100 and 5104 Charleston Boulevard, Ward 1, Knutson. Staff recommends approval on the land use entitlement project. 30A, 25-0277 SUP1 for proposed gaming establishment, restricted use 1 to 5 machines. 30B, SUP2 for proposed 2,800 square foot alcohol off-premise full use. May we have the staff report, please?
Madam Chair, the proposed uses would operate within a commercial building designed to accommodate a variety of commercial uses and are consistent with the uses allowed in the C1 Limited Commercial Zoning District. The requested special use permits meet their respective minimum requirements. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the requested special use permits subject to conditions. Please note that additional documents for protest and support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, sir. If you can please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
David Brown, 520 South 4th Street, on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is requesting use permits to have a liquor store with 4 gaming machines at the location. We appreciate staff's recommendation for approval, and we're in agreement with all of the conditions they would require. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you very much. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Rogan.
Staff recommends approval. I didn't have any issues with it. I'm ready to make a motion. Does anyone have any questions? No. With regard to agenda item 30, project 25-0277, make a motion for approval subject to staff's conditions. And Mr. Brown, you agree to all those conditions?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes.
Hold on, Commissioner. I think there was an A and B that wasn't read into the record.
I read the A and B when I brought the item up.
When you did? Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, my motion is
Your
amended
motion.
to
Yeah. Sorry,
include
the
all
motion.
subparts A and B.
Okay. Motion on the floor to approve item 30 and its subparts A and B, subject to all conditions. Please post. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Item 31, 25-0278, applicant owner GMD Properties LLC for possible action on the following land use entitlement project request on the west side of 10th Street, approximately 205 feet north of Stewart Avenue, Ward 5, Summers, Armstrong. Staff recommends approval on the land use entitlement project. May we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, regarding the vacation request, staff has no objection to the petition to vacate. Overall, the proposed multifamily residential development generally provides the desired form of development in the Fremont East District and Zoning District, despite minor waivers for design adjustments. Staff therefore finds this infill development will be compatible with the surrounding area and recommends approval of all entitlements subject to conditions. Please note additional letters of support were received after publication. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. If you can please state and spell your name for the record, give us your address, and tell us about the project.
Good evening. My name is Ken Small. I'm with SSA Architecture, 7040 Laredo Street. With me today is Jonathan Adami, who is also with the SSA Architecture. So this project had received a notice of final action about 3 years ago, and the NFA expired, and so we're back asking to reinstate it. The modifications that have been made since then are relatively minor. There was a pool which was removed at suggestion of staff, and then we've changed from an all-white exterior to this color version, which we thought broke up the massing of the building to make it a little bit more hospitable to the area. It's interesting to note, I don't know if we're last, but the gentleman who spoke first earlier spoke about this project. So he quite eloquently explained that this is going to be a very good credit to the area, and this is, I think, what the community is looking for in terms of providing housing for people that will be financially attainable, and also hopefully bring more business and enhancement of the local economy to this particular neighborhood. So we've got a 4-story building here, and the landscaping has also been modified to meet the current landscaping requirements from previously. This is a floor plan. There will be some accessible units for persons with disabilities, such as wheelchair users, included in this project. And we've also, the other change that's been made since it was approved last time is that this staircase is now enclosed on the exterior. But everything else is just the same as it was before, and we think that all these things that have been changed would be considered enhancements. And that's all I have on this. If there are any questions, I'm here to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This item has been noticed for public hearing. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment. I will pass it back to the commission, starting with Commissioner Munford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think this will be a good project. I just have a few questions. Are you guys putting the pool in, or?
The pool has been removed at the suggestion of the process that we've just been through. I'm not exactly sure who asked that it would be removed, if it was staff or somebody with the internal organizational system here, but it was a request that was conveyed to us to remove it, so we took it out.
What are you gonna replace the pool with? Is it gonna be like a little park area? Or?
It'll be landscaping. It's in this area here where my finger is, so we're just showing landscaping there.
All right. And it has an elevator?
Say again, sir?
It has an elevator?
Yes, sir, it does.
And how many tenants are in there? Or how many units?
The total number of units is 34, is that correct?
34.
24 one-bedroom units, 12 two-bedroom units, so it's 51 total.
All right. And then where is the elevator going to be located?
Here.
Right there? And that'll be accessible for all the tenants up on the upper level then?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you feel that's sufficient for that type of, that size of building?
Yes, sir, I think it will be fine.
Okay. And then the street landscaping, you have trees?
Yes, sir, let me find that for you. So here's the landscape plan. You can see there's quite a bit of planting. It's all in keeping with the Southern Nevada Water Authority's recommended list.
Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, now the timeline, are you guys, this is kind of going into like an extension or something from you originally, since you stated it was approved before.
Almost 3 years ago to the day, there was a notice of final action, and then when they began to start work on the construction documents, they realized that it had inadvertently expired, so that's why we're back.
Do you kind of have a timeline when you'd be turning dirt on it, or?
It's probably a one-year process to create the construction documents and do all the civil engineering and prepare the bids, so I would guess, somewhere in there, maybe a year to 2 years to start construction.
Okay. All right, that's all I wanted to ask. I'm on a motion for approval. Are there any other questions?
Okay, Commissioner DeSalvio.
Thank you, through the chair. Does any of the upper levels ADA compliant rooms, are they, those apartments or whatever, are they, any of them for handicap?
Yes, sir. They have to be dispersed according to federal regulations now, so we'll probably have one on the ground floor and then disperse the others throughout the building.
And you just have one single elevator?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So how does that work if we have ADA up on the upper floors and that elevator goes kaput? How do those people access their apartment?
It would definitely be a problem, but you're talking about a new building with a new elevator, so, in future years, it could possibly be, need to be maintained more vigorously than you know, an elevator that was not dependent on, people who were wheelchair users were not dependent on it, but the modern elevators are fairly dependable in a situation like this. This is a relatively low utilization condition, and it'll be a hydraulic type elevator.
It's
which
hydraulic, okay.
Yeah, less likely to have maintenance issues.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more question. And then the owner, once this is completed, you kind of have a property management plan in terms of making sure the property's well-maintained and...
I'm sure they'll have on-site management on the property.
All right. All right. Like I said before, is there any other questions?
I have a question. Just, I couldn't quite tell from the design, but is the facade articulated, or is this just a box with different paint colors?
It is articulated, yes. Okay. So you're seeing some ins and outs. You can see it a little bit better from the side here. I mean, obviously the patios are protruding, and the overhangs over the patios are protruding.
Okay. Thank you.
If there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion.
Hold on a second, Commissioner. Because I need to read in the child cases. I thought I did. So let's just make sure that we know what we're doing here. We did 31 for the land use entitlement, but there's also 31A, 25-0278 VAC1, petition to vacate a portion of a public alley south of Mesquite Avenue between 9th Street and 10th Street, and 31B, 25-0278 SDR1 for proposed 4-story, 36-unit multifamily residential development with waivers of Title 19.09 Form-Based Code Development Standards. See that nobody else has any questions, so at this point now, if you'd like to make your motion, Commissioner.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion for approval for 25-0278. Also, sub-item 31A, 31B, subject to all conditions, and you're fine with all conditions?
Agreed.
Okay. There is a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please post, and that motion carries.
And that will move on to City Council on September 17th.
Okay, so let's go back to item 21, which was abeyance 25-0208, public hearing, applicant owner Grind Mode 2 LLC for possible action on the following land use entitlement project requests at 2901 North Rancho Drive. Read into the record 21A through C already. Is there anyone here for that item?
Excuse me, Chair. That was item 20.
That was item 20? I thought I had trail on 21. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try this again. Item 20, abeyance 25-0207, applicant Laurel DaCosta, owner LDC Investments LLC. Read that into the record. Are the DaCostas here? Anybody here for item 20? Okay, Commissioner Munford, would you like to proceed with this item? Would you like to? Ladies, sorry, yes. What are you guys here for? You've been sitting here all night. Item 32. That actually has been obeyed until next month. Sorry. Sorry about that. That was part of the housekeeping items, so. Yeah, no, yeah. It's a good civics lessons, right? Yeah. And please come back next month, and now you've sort of seen how everybody comes up and does public comment. You can be ready, you're experts.
Do you know what the date is next month?
Yeah. September what? 9th. September 9th. Yep. And if, ladies, when we get to public comment, which will just be in a couple minutes, you can put comments on now, but if you want to wait for the presentation from the applicant, then that would be next month.
I think that would probably be more suitable just because we actually have questions.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I've got like multiple bits of information flowing through to help you guys out. So since it is an item that was obeyed for this hearing, it will be earlier in the agenda next time.
Okay, so September
September 9th, yep. And it'll be posted on PrimeGov, if you go to PrimeGov in Las Vegas, the Wednesday before September 9th. And so you'll be able to see exactly where it is on the agenda. You would just go to the Planning Commission agenda, click Planning Commission for September 9th, look at the agenda, and you'll see where it is. You're
Excuse
so
me,
welcome.
Chair.
They can fill you in.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yeah.
Can you have them come?
Why don't you just, ladies and
introduce
gentlemen, just come on down?
themselves? Give
And then
their
I
name.
know we're on item 20. We'll fix this in a second. We just wanted to make sure you guys weren't here for item 20. So what we were talking about is the fact that at the beginning of this agenda, there is a section that is for housekeeping. And so items that are going to be held, are going to be, different things happening with the items, we cover all that at the beginning, and then we make a motion on it. And so this was a housekeeping item that was going to be obeyed to the next agenda, the next meeting, which is September 9th. So you guys got to sit here and see how public comment works. So when you come back
learned a lot.
on September, good. Good.
Can we ask? Next month. Can I ask you one question?
Excuse me,
As long
Chair.
as you put your name on the record, because I
Thank
think
you.
the city
Paul
clerk is
Henshaw.
one.
I live at 10445 Luella Court, Las Vegas, Nevada 89143. The cul-de-sac that's right across the giant development that's going to be put in across from Moccasin,
Okay.
because that's what we're talking about.
And you're talking about item 32?
Yeah, so here's the one thing I'd really like to know. I'm not,
Excuse me, Chair.
I've never been here
Okay,
before,
wait, I'm getting,
so-
hold on a second. I'm getting.
Can we
yeah.
close item 20 out and
Yeah.
then go
Can
to
you
public
guys
comment?
just have a seat? You've been here all night. Just hang with us for just a couple more minutes. We're going to do public comment, then you can ask, we can go through public comment. Let us close out item 20. It did get a little chaotic. We've had a couple minutes of chaos here. So, Commissioner Runford, what would you like to do with 20? Would you like to just go ahead and have that proceed tonight, or do you want to obey it to September to see if the folks come?
I mean, we can, I guess I'll bear it one more time. I
Okay.
think we've done it, I think we did that before, but
Yeah, it's on abeyance, so, okay. All right, so then make your motion related to the abeyance, if you would like to, sir.
yeah, we'll give them one more shot.
Commissioner Munford, did you want to make a motion to obey? Yeah.
Sorry. I'd like to make a motion for abeyance for item number 20, 25-0207, sub-items 20A and 20B. Obey it till our next meeting.
And that would be September 9th.
There is a motion on the floor. Please cast your votes. Please post. And that motion carries. Okay, so next we have item 35, which is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. No subject may be acted upon by the Planning Commission unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. So if you want to come talk about the process.
Yeah, okay, can I go? Ready?
You, sir, just state your name again
All
and
right.
spell it for the
Again,
record and give us your address.
Paul Henshaw, 10445 Luella Court, which is the cul-de-sac across from the giant development that's going to be put in, that we know we have no power whatsoever to be able to stop in any way, shape, or form. So that's clear. But I'm super sad that it's there, okay? Just want to share with you that. But understand there's good things about development also. And so having said that, I think the big question that we wanted to get answered, and we'd be very grateful if we were able to, we've looked on a lot of the maps. What we were really hoping to find out is how far down would this giant development go to? And I understand if there's no way you can really answer that question. We were hoping it stops at Sky Canyon, but we were thinking it might go down to the road called Four Views, and I really hope it doesn't go past Four Views going toward Durango, because I know it's going to go right up against the Tule Springs Conservation Area.
The fossil beds.
Yeah, the
that are
fossil
right there.
beds. So is there a way, because I looked at the little card, I even looked, I mean, you cannot read the roads, because the card is only a little 3-5 little guy, right? And you actually really can't read the roads. It's got the shape of the development. So that's really the biggest question that we wanted to ask.
So, Madam Chair, Seth Floyd for the record, if I can take part of that one. So for the information that's in the backup, you can go on the website. So if you go on the city's website, the meetings and agendas page, you can zoom in on all the backup that's there and look at it on the screen, as opposed to, I realize the postcards are pretty small.
Yeah.
So whatever backup is there, you should be able to see it. But that will be coming back next time. The applicant will be here to discuss it. I know that they've done some outreach, so I can talk to you separately about who the applicant is, and if you want to try to reach out to them before that meeting and get some information from them, I'm sure they would. Normally they're here, but their items were earlier, so I'm sure they'd be willing to speak to you. I can put you in touch.
Okay, that's great, thanks.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else, folks? Nope.
I mean, I guess I would have to wait. I have,
Yeah.
some stuff that's just, it's not for you guys, I guess.
Okay.
Excuse me, Chair, could you ask for the spelling on the last name?
Yes, sir. Could you please give us the spelling on your last name?
Ready? Hinshaw.
Okay. All right. Anybody else for public comment, for citizens' participation? Okay. Seeing none, then we will go ahead and close out this Planning Commission meeting. Commission is adjourned.